And this one feels good at first, which is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Love bombing is when someone overwhelms you with affection, attention, gifts, and declarations of love very early in the relationship to create a powerful emotional bond, then uses that bond as leverage later, sometimes months or even years down the line. It feels incredible at first. That's the whole point. They text you constantly. They say you're the one within weeks. They plan future trips and talk about marriage or moving in together extremely early. They make you feel like you've finally found someone who truly, deeply sees you in a way no one else ever has. Then the mask slips. Once they feel they have you emotionally invested, the affection becomes conditional, or it disappears completely, or it only reappears right after they've hurt you, which pulls you right back in. This creates what psychologists call a trauma bond because your brain is literally chasing the original high of all that attention, the same way it might chase any other powerful, intermittent reward. Real-life examples, because this one hides in a lot of different relationships, not just romantic ones. Scenario 1, romantic. A guy you've been seeing for 3 weeks already calls you his soulmate, wants to meet your parents, and talks about what your kids would look like together. When you say you want to take things slower, because something in you feels like this is moving too fast, he gets upset and says, "I thought you felt the same way. I guess I was wrong about you." Suddenly you're apologizing for wanting a normal pace. Scenario 2, friendship. A new friend showers you with compliments, buys you expensive gifts you didn't ask for, and wants to spend every single day together within the first month. When you need space, or make other plans that don't include them, they say, "I thought we were best friends. I've never had anyone treat me like this before." The guilt is instant and disproportionate to what you actually did. Scenario 3, family. A parent who is distant and unavailable for years suddenly becomes extremely affectionate and generous right when they need something from you: money, emotional support, or help getting out of a problem they created. Why love bombing works so well? It exploits your need for connection and your hope that this person, unlike others before them, is genuinely different. The intensity feels like real intimacy, but it's actually a control tactic dressed up as devotion. Defense strategies. Slow everything down deliberately, even if it feels uncomfortable. Manipulators hate patience because it removes their leverage. Say, "I like to take relationships slow. If that doesn't work for you, I understand." And then actually watch what happens next. Watch how they treat you when you set that boundary. The reaction will tell you everything you need to know about who you're actually dealing with. Remember that real love respects your pace. Anyone who pressures you to move faster than you're comfortable with, whether that's in a relationship, a friendship, or even a business deal, is showing you exactly who they are. You just have to be willing to believe them the first time. Type "bombed" in the chat if you've ever experienced love bombing. I want to see the numbers because I have a feeling this chat is about to fill up fast. Now, let's talk about triangulation, which is one of the sneakier tactics because it often doesn't even feel like it's about you directly. It's about someone else entirely. Triangulation is when a manipulator brings a third person into your dynamic to create jealousy, insecurity, or competition. The goal is to make you work harder for their approval and feel like you're constantly competing for their attention, even when there's no real reason to be competing at all. Common examples: "My ex would never have said that to me." "My coworker thinks I'm hilarious. You should hear how much we laugh together." Constantly comparing you to other people, even fictional characters, celebrities, or people from their past. Posting photos with other people, and then watching closely for your reaction. Workplace example: your boss constantly praises another team member in front of you and says things like, "If only everyone worked as hard as Sarah." This makes you feel like you have to prove yourself constantly, even if your actual performance is fine, because the comparison itself is the tool being used against you. Family example: a parent constantly compares you to your sibling. "Your brother never gives me this much trouble." This creates a lifelong pattern of competing for approval that was never actually earned or lost based on your real behavior. Defense strategies. Call it out directly and calmly, without escalating. "I'm not interested in being compared to other people. If you have something to say to me, say it directly." This removes the power of the comparison immediately. Refuse to engage with the comparison itself. Change the subject, or simply end the conversation if it continues. Ask the clarifying question: "Why are you bringing this person into our conversation right now?" This forces them to either explain themselves honestly or realize what they're doing. The goal in every case is to remove the third person from the dynamic entirely and force the manipulator to deal with you one-on-one, where their tactic doesn't work anymore. Drop